Welcome to section 2.4, Formulas. In this section, when we're working with formulas, basically you're working with what you're given, just like what you have here that we're going to use for example 1. The goal for formula is to solve for a specified variable. So what I mean by solving for a specified variable is to isolate or to get it by itself of that variable we're looking for, or layman's term is to have everything equal to that variable. So let's take a look at this equation. 3x plus 4y minus 5z equals 11. Now, if you're given this problem and it says to solve for, for y. So it's asking you to solve and get y by itself. So this variable right here, we want to get y by itself. So in that case, we need to cancel out with everything else, the 3x and the minus 5z. So what we're going to do, I'm going to write here minus 3x minus 3x. So I'm going to do this one step at a time to make it easy. So the 3x cancel out, we have 4y minus 5z equal 11 minus 3x. Alright, next I want to get rid of the minus 5z, so the opposite will be plus 5z plus 5z. So it will be 4y equal 11 minus 3x plus 5z. Alright, now when you are rearranging the variables, make sure to put it in alphabetical order. Be very careful with the sign. But here we have 11 minus 3x. Now you can have 3x, minus 3x, or negative 3x in the front, and then the 11 in the back. But the order doesn't matter. The only thing that I'm picky about, or I prefer, is that the variables are in order. Now we are almost done getting the y by itself. So in order to get y by itself, I need to get rid of this 4. So I'm going to divide left side by 4, and then the right side by 4. So we're going to have y equal 11 minus 3x plus 5z, the whole thing divided by 4. And that will be our final answer, because I was able to get y by itself. And that's all you have to do. Isolate, get y by itself, or have everything equal to y. And that's it. In this next part, I'm using the same example, 3x plus 4y minus 5z equals 11. But this time we're going to be solving for z, meaning we're going to get z by itself. So again, I'm going to do this one step at a time, but you can do two variables at the same time. So again, I'm doing this one step at a time. So minus 3x minus 3x. So it's going to be 4y minus 5z equal 11 minus 3x. And then I want to cancel out the 4y, so it's going to be minus 4y. So it's negative 5z equal 11 minus 3x minus 4y. So earlier I was saying that you can do two variables at once instead of one step at a time. So for example, you could have subtracted by 3x and 4y at the same time. So you're going to cancel out from the left side, and they will be on the right side when you're balancing the equation. in order to get negative 5z to be by itself. So again, I'm just doing this one step at a time, but you can do it 2 steps all in one. Alright, next, to get z by itself, I'm going to divide the whole thing by negative 5 and the whole thing by negative 5. Now, this is the part where we have to be extra careful because it has a negative. So I'm going to write right here, y equal, sorry, that's from the last example, it's actually z equal, since it's a negative, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the negative to the front or to the top. So now, since we have multiple parts, 1, 2, 3 in the numerator, so the 11, the 3x, and the 4y, since we have multiple parts, I'm actually going to move the negative into the numerator. So it won't stay at the denominator, it's going to be in the numerator. So it's going to be negative, parenthesis, 11 minus 3x minus 4y, close parenthesis, over 5. The reason I include parentheses is because I have multiple parts in the numerator, meaning more than one. My multiple parts again are 11, 3x, and 4y, so I have 3. If it was just one part, then it's easy to move the negative to the top without parentheses. Now, you might see this as an answer choice on the ACC final or on the TSI. So this could be an answer choice, or it could be written differently. So z equal, what's happening is you're going to distribute the negative to everything that's inside the parentheses. So it's going to be negative 11 plus 3x plus 4y over 5. So I'm writing this out to inform you or to have you know ahead of time that these answers are acceptable. And the reason I'm having them write out is because you might see them in different forms when it comes to the ACC final or the TSI. So they may look different because of the parenthesis and the negative, but essentially they're the same. So for me, it doesn't matter what you put on my test, but just be aware to know that these two, even though they look different, they're basically the same thing. It's just the one on the left, it has the parenthesis with the negative on the outside, but on the right, the negative was distributed. That's why it looks different with the sign, but essentially they're the same. So make sure to be aware of these two forms, and when you're dividing with the negative, I prefer that you have the negative stay with the numerator.